Thank you very much.
So yeah, so I think I was done answering that, but if anyone wants me to say it again, I'll try to sum it up.
You played in an episode written by Chuck Lorre. Was it really different?
Yeah, well, we did an experiment with Chuck Lorre and the staff of 2.5 Men, where their writers wrote an episode for CSI, and our writers wrote an episode for 2.5 Men, and I think it turned out really well. I think on their show there was a murder at a wedding, and on our show there was a murder of a sitcom star who was hated by many. And I really enjoyed watching the episode. It was such a departure from what we're used to. I mean, I like when we kind of mix things up a little bit. And I'd love to do something like that again down the road. Yeah. I think Chuck Lorre is a brilliant guy, and I'd love to have the opportunity to work with him.
How did you live the change between William Peterson and Lawrence Fishburne?
It was really hard to say goodbye to Billy, but I know he'll be back. He wants to come back, occasionally, and he'll probably come back sometime in season 10. But the transition between William Peterson's departure and Lawrence Fishburne's arrival was pretty smooth. Of course, nothing could have prepared us for Billy leaving the show, even though he had warned us that the day was coming. I came to work for Billy's last scene, even though I wasn't in the scene, but I wanted to be there when they yelled cut, and it was very emotional. And I miss the guy, but I know that our friendship will withstand his decision to move on to other things. Over the holidays, I went and saw him perform in a play in Chicago, and he was great. And I know he's doing another play this summer, which I'll hopefully get back to see. But we're focused on the task at hand, which is to continue making a quality television show every week. And this upcoming season is going to be more focused on the dynamics between the new team members, which include Lawrence and Marg Helgenberger's character, and George Eads, and myself, and Robert David Hall and Paul Guilfoyle. And I think some of the lab techs will get an opportunity to work out in the field a little bit. We'll probably see more of Liz Vassey's character, and I'm looking forward to this kind of new era for the show. Although no one can ever replace William Peterson, I think Lawrence Fishburne has done a great job of stepping in and adapting to a show that's pretty much self-sufficient, for 9 years, but still bringing something new to the show, a much needed change, just to keep things exciting and to keep the audience interested. Sometimes you have to shake things up a little bit.
What was the changes with this new arrival?
Was there what?
The changes with this new arrival of Lawrence.
What are the changes?
What was the changes?
Lawrence is
on the dynamic on the show.
Yeah, I mean, Lawrence is a very experienced professional actor. I mean, I've been a fan of his since Apocalypse Now and Pee-wee's Playhouse, and What's Love Got to Do with It, when he assumed the identity of Ike Turner. And I've really enjoyed watching him step into our set and treating it with the same level of professionalism that I'm sure he approaches every role with. He's brought a certain seriousness to the show. I mean, his character is a very private person and very mysterious, whereas William Peterson's character of Gil Grissom was very warm and nurturing. We were seeing the the team left without that kind of mentor that Grissom was. So everyone's kind of on their own a little bit more and having to take control of the situations instead of letting Grissom take control of everything. It's kind of unclear, who's steering the ship now. So I think everybody is going to take their turn at, kind of grasping the steering wheel. But it's going to be interesting to see how this dynamic forms, because even the dynamic of the old team wasn't something that the writers just came up with and then delivered to the actors. It was something that just happened organically, and you can't explain it, and you can't you can't just create something like that in a vacuum. I mean, it has to happen naturally, and it's going to happen throughout season 10.
And if you had the opportunity, what would you like to write for your character?
I'd like to see Greg, maybe be the hero instead of the victim. He's been the victim a few too many times over the years, whether it was the lab blowing up or Greg being attacked, while trying to do the right thing, and then it gets fouled up and he's got to go stand before a jury, and I mean he's been through a lot, but I'd like to see Greg do something valiant and responsible, and maybe some situation where Greg takes control.
And maybe see a little more of his personal life too.
We'll see. I mean, the writers are very cautious about delving into the characters' personal lives too much. I think they would prefer the audience be desiring more than getting too much, and I think we got a little bit too deep into the personal lives of the characters in season 8, and that was partly to help explain Sarah and Grissom's departure from the show. But I know the writers are set on getting back to the basics in season 10 and focusing on the science and the crime and the qualities of the show that made it a success in the first place. Because one thing you don't want to do is alienate the audience or start